Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all. So today the message is there's a lot going on beneath the surface. So we start with the Eight of Music reversed, which is the Eight of Cups. Normally the Eight of Cups upright is about walking away. And so I want to read the little poem that's on all these cards. They all have such beautiful things. Clouded with discontent and brooding in their minds, terrible things. And with it being reversed, though, it almost feels like, again, there's a lot going on beneath the surface, and brooding in their minds. It's reflected in a few different cards. Maybe you need to get a journal and start writing out what is brooding beneath the surface. And then right above that, some of the cards came out like two together. These two kind of did, but they weren't so connected. But then there's this Man of Music, which is the Queen of Cups, also reversed. And so upright, it says, music as it exists in old tunes or melodies is inspiration and cannot be surpassed. It is perfect and eternal. And so I'm just feeling like with all these energies, it's like repeated over and over again. There's something about having lost connection with yourself, having lost connection with, divine flow, having lost connection with your inspiration, with your music, with your, all of those things, having lost connection with your emotional well-being. And so it almost feels like going numb. And it could be using substances to numb out to whatever pain is trying to surface or discontent or whatever. But it's like kind of being stuck because it's like there's all this beneath the surface, but it's an inability to move on from it. And then over here, I want to come back to these two, but I just want to show that we've got the Five of Swords or Science in this deck called Division. And then with that is the Eight of Poetry in this called Swiftness. That's why I want to come back to that. And then over here, we've got the Nine of Science, Nine of Swords reversed with Despair. And Sublimity, which is 10 of Cups upright. And then over here, we've got, they call it Nature. This is the Empress card. And then you've got the Moon reversed. And then underneath that, I didn't see that, but you've got this Whirlwind reversed. And so I kind of want to go with these ones really quick. So here's this Mother card. And the thing about this deck is how many people are naked. And, nakedness represents transparency. It's having nothing to hide. It's living your truth, being your truth, standing in your truth. And I think there's a sincere desire to, with this Mother energy, with the children on there, it could be if you have kids, you're doing your best to hang in there. Or this could be representative of your own inner child, all of that. Or it could just be, trying to keep your life going, the daily things that need, attention, that need to be nurtured and whatever. But underneath that, you've got the Moon reversed and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So it kind of feels like, not only is there like a stagnancy going on with these other cards, definitely a stagnancy, but it's almost like a repeating pattern of this bad. I don't know what else to call it. A repeating pattern of could be all kinds of things. With the Moon again, and with this guy over here, it could be emotional turmoil. It could be, and then you've got these Swords cards. It could be mind stuff. You might need to get some therapy or something. It could be trauma surfacing. It could be all different kinds of things going on with your mind and your emotions. And it just kind of feels like, you're doing the best you can to stay upright and really tend to the things. But this stuff underneath, again, the stuff beneath the surface, it really needs attention. It really needs clarity. It really needs to have a light shined on it so that the self-reflection can happen. And don't be afraid to ask for help. And then we come to this Division card and this Eight of Poetry. You see that he's like in shackles. And normally the Five of Swords I see as like a gaslighting card or a win at all cost card. I feel like in light of all this, you might be gaslighting yourself. and it's hard to, or you could be having conflict with people outside of yourself, and there could just be a constant like misunderstandings or constant, it could be worse than that, but it kind of feels like a mind fuck, either that you're doing on yourself or that is happening with others, and recognizing that. But then you've got this swiftness thing, and I like the little saying on here: time is the mercy of eternity. Without time's swiftness, which is the swiftest of all things, all were eternal torment. And so I think what it means is, if you dwell on whatever all this unhappiness is, if you dwell on where it's keeping you looped, you're just reinforcing neural pathways that continuously go to the negative, that continuously go to the toxic. And then it can start the cycle where then you go to, self-medicate or something like that, or just go into denial or whatever. It can be anything from, alcohol to video games to shopping to whatever. But I kind of feel like with this, if you start to recognize, again, journaling, writing it down, or talking with a therapist or something like that, you can start to recognize the repetitive patterns of thought and emotions and the waves of it all. And I feel like over time, you can learn to recognize these things as, again, patterns, but patterns can be undone. As Esther Hicks said, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. You're starting to believe that now, aren't you? That's how they say it. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So it stands to reason, if you practice thinking a different thought long enough, you can shift your beliefs and create new patterns in your brain and in your mannerisms and in your belief systems, all of that. You can shift all of that. And then finally, we come over here to this Nine of Swords, which is despair. This is totally being stuck in past or future, not being present, stuck, especially upright, stuck in that toxic thinking, just chronic worry, chronic regret, lament, grief, guilt, all these different things. I like that it's reversed with this 10 of Cups. And then the saying on here is, peace and plenty and domestic happiness is the source of sublime art. And so again, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So start identifying the thoughts that are repetitive and write them down, and maybe write about, what do I believe about this? What have I been taught about this, or whatever. Just really get in touch with yourself and know that you can shift your beliefs. And so it does feel like you can overcome that, and then also by being present, instead of being anywhere, instead of, regretting the past or worrying about the future, being where you're at now and looking for things to appreciate. You can look at the sky and appreciate the sky. You can look at water. You can look at your home. You can look at anything, that you can look in the mirror. You can look at your clothes, anything that you can find to appreciate. You can take a deep breath and appreciate the air, just start there. And it does kind of feel like a home kind of a thing. It feels like altogether, home is your safest place right now. So get yourself into where you feel safe, where you feel like you can be transparent. Surround yourself with those who really support the truth of who you are, your authentic self. I'm really getting some like fight or flight, maybe PTSD kind of stuff, really want to work itself out. It looks like, you're in a very healing place right now. It's just hard to recognize that this is what healing looks like, because it's devastating and all this beneath the surface. That you could feel crazy with this moon reversed. It could very much feel like you're crazy. I know I relate to that. And so again, if you can focus on what's in front of you, focus on the present, be inspired, what you're grateful for, what you appreciate. And then maybe if you feel inspired to create, either with writing, you can write poetry, you can paint, you can dance, you can sing, whatever it is that you feel that would, bring you into greater flow of what is good in your life, attuning yourself to the joy, attuning yourself to the happiness. I think then we come back to the swiftness. I think swiftly things can shift in your favor. So that's all I have for today. Peace and love until next time.